Hey, collective. I hope you're looking good, feeling good, smelling good, eating good, drinking good, thinking good thoughts, having a good time, sharing good energy with good people, in good places, doing good things. All right. Let's see. I'm going to start off with some Oracle first. Yeah, I'm going to start off with Oracle first. See what's what. All right. All right, there's some obedience there. Ooh. Okay, and then it's children in the reverse. So I'm going to take this as this is a parental figure. There's a parental figure that has an issue who's not being obedient because you see it's someone's pointing like this seems like an authoritative figure just by the suit that's on them, you know. So it looks like there's an adult who is not being obedient. May have something to do with in respect to a lover situation and possibly even someone who's left. So maybe there's a parental figure who has an issue with their child. But what I'm getting is like the issue that they have is because the child is no longer a child. It's like it's not a child. This is a grown up. And it feels like whomever this was wearing a mask. Whoever the parent was wearing some type of mask, maybe even masking, you know, pretending like they love this child when they didn't actually treat them correctly. Let's get a few more on this. Yeah, it looks like whoever this parental figure is, they feel like they have like a mountain, like, you know, like a long road ahead of them and a mountain to climb. I'm curious. Yeah. Because maybe they're now starting to reflect upon this child's youth, like the child who is now an adult, reflecting on that, and maybe the roots of like what this is about. Oh, this is interesting. Okay. Okay. So it looks like whoever this parental figure is wanted this their child who is an adult to be on their leash. They wanted to control this person. And let's see. And from what it looks like, it's like they can't control them because they're, you know, maybe even this parental figure feels restrained because this feels like this is the same energy here in the suit as it is here. So it feels like this parental figure feels strained by maybe even their parents. So there may be some grandparent energy. There's something here to do with money. Maybe this parental figure was trying to assess too the child's Akashic records. Maybe that's something they paid for, was to look into the child's Akashic records to see the roots and like maybe how they could, you know, stand in the way of what's kind of inevitable. Yeah, there may be a house that's being brought to this person's, to the adult child's, adult child's, like being brought to their attention. Maybe I'm getting an energy of like the adult child walked in, like they took off the shoes of like whatever it is from the past, because it looks like back here they used to try to walk in someone else's shoes, or they were, you know, being guided, and then they determined that they wanted to get, you know, completely and fully on their own path, and they put on their own shoes. This is interesting. Yeah, to further explore their own roots. Tell us more about this here. Yeah. Whomever this is, it's not their place because it's the shoes in reverse. It's like they were trying to put themselves in their child's shoes And then they're realizing, like, they were trying to do this kind of like, if a parent is trying to destiny swap with their child, is what I'm getting here, versus trying to seek understanding. And yeah, look, from the art, trying to seek understanding and knowledge on love, like the art of love. They were trying to just, you know, maybe I'm hearing defame. Yeah, I'm getting that with like the shouting. So maybe this person is screaming and angry right now with their ancestors. I'm getting like maybe they even overindulge. Okay. Give me more for the child in reverse. Okay. Yeah, this is due time. It's due time that they stopped, you know, being like dogs is what I'm hearing. You know, and that was one of my titles of one of my readings. So whomever this is, it's like they're an adult. You know, the other day a frog came to the window and stuck on the window of where we're at, and I looked up the spiritual meaning of a frog, and it's basically when a tadpole, you know, turns into an adult, right? And so I feel like that's what's taking place here. You know, their tadpole turned into an adult and they became angry about it. They wanted to control this situation. But it was more than due time, is what I'm understanding, you know, for this parental figure to really figure themselves out. All right, let's see. Let's get a third row of cards here. Oh gosh, this is disgusting. What I'm hearing here is that maybe even this parental figure helped to facilitate or to pay for someone to possibly either set up hidden cameras or to create some AI, you know, and post it somewhere as though they were selling this child, or maybe they even, oh, God forbid, they sold pictures of this child when they were, oh gosh. Yeah, there's something here about this person, you know, constantly trying to make money off of this child from the beginning, you know, to the end was their goal, but that's not their purpose and it's not going to continue. Again, there's something there with that frog. Yeah, this child is going, oh wow, I didn't even realize that. I was getting ready to say this child is going to move on to, you know, I keep hearing engagements into connections that are completely and totally based around love. There is a wedding. This person is moving on. So maybe this parent wanted the child to forever. Ooh, that was the illusion the parent was trying to make. Look at that. Just look at the depiction on the card. This parent wanted to illusion their child throughout adulthood as though, you know, they were all they had. And it was just simply to use this child, to continue to, you know, use them all the way and always make them feel like that's all they had was this parental figure. That's the illusion. So somebody's been creating this illusion. If that's what they overindulged in, is what I'm hearing here. All right, one more shuffle. Yeah, that, and trying to peek into the person's Akashic records, maybe even getting readings on them, going to different root workers and things like that. What else here, please? And what you have to understand is it can't, this is all based around money. This is so horrible. I'm hearing some energy like even before this child was 17, this person was using this child for money. So maybe this parent has actually been caught up for some involvement in child porn. Oh, okay. I just want you to see. What I'm seeing here is that this parental figure continued to give fake love to this child from the time they were young. Maybe they saw this person's independence start to rise beyond whatever they had done in their, you know, adolescence before they became a teenager. And so this person, this parent, this parental figure, I can't even call this person a parent because that's not how you treat your child. But this parental figure ended up selling this child to different doctors, maybe even like let doctors experiment on this child, let them do, you know, let people, you know, try different religious, or I'm getting here like organizations, you know, do different things. Because look, and then I'm hearing that was just an attempt to try to make them feel like that nobody loved them and that it was okay to do harm so that this child could forever feel like they were not going to have this marriage that's put in the books for them, like to distract them from their forward movement. Wow. Stabilizing their home, which is their spirit, their body, themselves, their mind, all of those things. Oh, this is disgusting. This is so disgusting. Oh, this is so disgusting. Tell us more about this time for this adult. What is it time for this adult, this grown-up, this parental? Oh, it's time for them to move on. It says sailing and flying, like get the hell out of here. It's time for them to move on. Yeah. Because there are all these strangers that actually recognize the beauty of this child who has grown into what I'm hearing is a remarkable adult. Yeah. A remarkable adult. Wow. Okay. What else here with this other than sailing in time? Yeah. What occurred basically because this parental figure. Ooh. I don't know if this is a sperm donor or a womb donor, but either way, or it could be both, unfortunately, but they're falling into this. I mean, it's a fall that they cannot stop though. Cause think about it, when you're falling, they're falling right into the mouth of whatever this is. Whatever this is, they're falling right into the mouth. They were hoping that this tactic, this effort, what they were trying to do here would keep them from having to do that. Yeah, they were hoping that this would, keep the child distracted, into thinking that they were going to remain in this caterpillar, that they would never see themselves as, a ladybug or anything significant. They were really trying to, maybe that's the even type of magic that they used was some type of spell work that included bugs or animals or something like that, just to maybe annoy this child, keep them unfocused on this wealth that they're obtaining. Interesting. I said an exceptional adult. Look at that. I didn't even know this card was in here. 33. I'm getting some type of mastery's been taking place because they didn't choose to walk in the shoes of other people. Like they decided to take, the bits and pieces of the individuals that they saw that were good pieces. Because even if someone is dark, demented, distorted, all of those things, they can still be a smart and wise person. I'm hearing it, the owl. A smart and wise person can take the good out of the situation. And that's what it looks like has made this person so exceptional. They're able to take the goodness, and move on. Interesting. Yeah. I'm even hearing, I'm like, this is the opposite of that other one where I said they were overindulging. Shouting dogs, please. Give us more on this shouting dogs or the exceptional. Maybe this child was supposed to become a singer. Maybe they illusioned everything around them in that phase. Give us more about these illusions or what their shouting dogs are about right now. Whoever this person is having a lot of, those illusions are fading. Whatever illusions they set up, they're fading right now. But the house card came out. So this person is really angry, whomever this womb donor or sperm donor is. They're very angry that the child has grown up. And the child grew up and was able to become the exact opposite of what they were trying to make the child out to be. Wow. Okay. All right, let's see here. Yeah. They were hoping too that this child would never speak so much about how they contemplated things, that they were hoping that this child would never, be excited about searching for the truth, that they wouldn't be vigilant about their inner guidance and where their guidance came from. And what I'm getting here is that this child helped to lead this parent to understanding what meditation is. Not just it's like meditate on, his law all the day and the night. That's the lyrics of a song that I knew from an old church that I went to. So meditate on his law all the day and the night. Yeah. This child really practiced that self-employment, or maybe they're pursuing something now. Maybe it's when the child, maybe this is an entrepreneurial energy as far as the child is concerned. And when that happened, that's when the parental figure, I guess maybe doubled down is what I'm hearing. Yeah, because they saw this person having this star energy, Wow. That was what I'm hearing here, is that was the sign to this parent to let go. That was the sign to this parent to let go and let this child go on to have their happy family. But again, that's when it seems they doubled down on things. Okay. So give us something about this adult, this parent, parental figure. So whomever this is, whether it be a womb donor or sperm donor, they are really kind of stuck at a Three of Wands, like trying to see and make these tough decisions because they want to take their own adventure. And see, that's why that card came out earlier of the path being so long and that mountain being so high. But they have all these tough decisions that they have to make. They're stuck in the middle and they're being blind to the truth. Because of that spell work, because of all their trickery, their illusions, they're out of touch. I'm hearing that's why they harbor so much negative energy right now, is because there's this backfire. So basically all the things that they were doing, wow, it is playing out in their actual life. They've been caught. Yeah, their greed, their possessive nature, trying to hoard and control this Two of Cups from this child, who again is an adult, who's realized exactly who they are, and they worked really hard for that. They worked really hard in all of their endeavors to really shine like that star energy that we saw come out. That's wild. And that's why maybe they have such a compassionate, caring, affectionate, and friendly connection that's coming towards them. But that was a part of their Akashic records. Ooh, yeah. There's also this energy that this financial collapse, because there was fake money. And now this family, whomever belongs to this family, is feuding because of everything that they've lost trying to do this. So what I'm hearing is, as long as the child had remained in an energy of, wanting to help their family, wanting to help, the people that they grew up with and things like that, as long as they wanted to help them, get on their journeys and wanted to help them, that would have kept them some type of way, shape, or form binded to these family members. But that's not what's happening. Like, it's the illusions and trickery, it's all being seen. Yeah. And they're also seeing this adult who was a child of this person be very confident about their new journey. They're fearless and enthusiastic. Again, that's coming out a lot. Yeah. And as a result of that, this is that family or whomever. This is all those individuals working with them. I said you too, there was physicians involved, it looks like, or groups and organizations as well. So they're seeing, they're reflecting, and they're understanding that they're under judgment. There's this reckoning, awakening. They're seeing their own spiritual calling. Yeah, because this new love is coming in for this person. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. This person will have fulfillment in that at all costs. Yeah. I said at all costs. And then the joy, success, and celebration and positivity card comes out. Yeah, so now what they're contemplating on is, okay, there's this skeptical, apathetic energy. Wow. So it looks like what's holding these people back from maybe even going within or telling the truth, because I'm getting telling the truth is coming from this hermit, like seeing what they're supposed to be doing, is because they know that this person has already achieved what they needed to as far as ending these cycles, confirming, affirming, and reaching the possibilities, because that's at completion too. So that's what's triggering maybe even these individuals so much, is because they know that if they attempt to go back, like if they attempt contempt. Ooh, somebody may be getting held in contempt of court too, because that shouting came out. So maybe there's something to do with like a property or an inheritance or something like that, where this person got, in a rage in a courtroom, because they are now very skeptical that because this person, whoever this adult child is, does not care, no longer cares. They have a negative outlook on these people, on this family. Yeah. And that it's already been contemplated by whoever this adult child is. They've already contemplated, like, whew, I feel like it's said and done. There's no more contemplation that's needed. It's like they've been seen already. Maybe if perchance, if they had taken the right route, to be honest and sincere is what I'm hearing, then there wouldn't have been this holdback for the family and the donors. Yeah. But they kept working together on this. Okay. Yeah, they see this person as being like, and I'm getting this adult child is very much so aware. It's like their shadow work made them aware that it's kind of like, if I can get through my shadow work, everyone else should be able to as well. Even if we're not, healing is not linear, but it seems as though these people never were focused on healing. 21:21 on the clock, And even if they are now, what I'm hearing is that it is what it is. It is a Four of Cups. They're not trusting these individuals, as they shouldn't. The only thing they're trusting on is this 10 of Cups that they're receiving. Okay. Oh, wow. Yeah. These individuals were addicted to constantly trying to go and like uproot this person's natural ability, natural psychic ability. I was reading something about the movie Beloved, because I was trying to figure out if Thandie Newton's character was actually like a live person, or if that was just like, the child who had been, unalived, prior to. And what I'm understanding is it's giving that same energy. Maybe that movie even resonates with you. But they were looking at this child as someone that they could constantly, or maybe, maybe that has some effect. Maybe there's something about a parental figure thinking that they had gotten rid of the child, but it wasn't true. I don't know. There's something there about this. And as a result, this person just, whoever this womb donor or sperm donor is, or both, were addicted to this materialism of playing with magic, feeling trapped, or trying to trap someone else, or playing with someone's ability to not be trapped, is what I'm hearing. Yeah, they were hoping you never contemplated any of this, that none of this ever came out. That you would never search for the truth, that you would never, search for this inner guidance, that you would never really meditate and heal. Like they were hoping that you would always be in this quick movement, like not really paying attention to the facts and, the circumstances and how, who, what, when, where, why, because they knew that you would move on from that trauma. They knew that you would understand that better was coming and transition off to that. Yeah, they knew that at the moment you went within with about this. Someone's trying to tongue tie me too. It seems they really don't want this out. Yeah, this is their nightmare. This is their worst nightmare. This person probably has not slept in days. I'm hearing 3 days. And then they've got all these people sitting there, bringing them more nightmares. It's like in their awakened state, they have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 sets of eyes on them as well, or people peering into them and what they've done. Yeah, and the people that they worked with on this. Yeah. They were really hoping that they could keep you unaware of this. They wanted you to be unconscious to the fact that they had stolen your money, that there's an inheritance of wealth, of fortune, something like this, some type of family tradition that, that you weren't supposed to find out about. But you see how that went there. It's pretty much stopped, right there. Like that illusion is what got them stuck. Oh wow, because you became aware of it. Look, you became aware of it. You really sat in this protective, even of your own energy. You were conservative, patient, and tentative to yourself and your needs, and the needs of those who, like, if you're a parent and this is you, and the person who's your parent did this to you, you were cautious, you were smart, you were wise, you were loving, and ensured that you didn't follow the same route as them. Because I could never imagine selling my child to people to experiment on, or to, do harmful, hurtful, traumatic things to them. I mean, life is full of enough ups and downs as it is, to add on to that. What I'm hearing is the double up energy to add on to that. Yeah, you have every right and had every right to move on from this. Yeah, to move on from this to this sun energy. You see how it switched even hands? There's something about that. So maybe this is switching hands now. The funds are coming directly to you is what I just heard. They didn't want that. Yeah, that's what's messing them up the most right now. Is I'm getting something like, as soon as you left this family, as soon as you made the agreement with yourself that you would leave all of these family members behind. Yeah, for this new love, to move on to this new love, this new creativity, this new emotional awakening, this new fulfillment. Like that would provide, no trauma and no trauma bonding in the relationship. A lot of creativity where you were always trying to transition, and, because that's the cycle that they were, trying to keep you in. Also having this emotional stability and awakening to not get thrown off when they would throw things at you, so to speak, and finding fulfillment in that relief from this. This is really remarkable. Like I said, and that money is coming right on in. It's something to do with like you actually leaving, setting up. If you're the type who you moved away from home and then all of a sudden family members moved to where you were, that's significant. They were moving to kind of stand guard, to kind of, stand in the way with both of their arms out in front of you to keep you in this like Two of Swords energy. That was the whole purpose of them moving. They made it seem as though, we want to be close for, maybe you had a child and they were like, we want to be there before a grandchild, or, we want to be there, to be close in case you need us, kind of thing. But that was really just them trying to encroach on your space so that they could make sure that this didn't get to you. But that's not what happened. Money is coming. Money is coming. New business opportunities coming. New abundance. A lot of stability too from these new business opportunities. And you're going to be abundant in all things, because I'm focusing here like on this earth. There's like a lot of abundance in earthly things. A lot of earthly and material wealth and abundance. It is all going to be around money. I'm noticing like all these leaves growing from out of it. So it's like where this starts, more will come in. Like because of who you are by nature is what I'm understanding. You have the capability to really make things grow and blossom. To make things grow and blossom in the right way. So if you've moved or you're thinking about moving, I would move. I would definitely move. That definitely breaks a tie and a connection. Change your numbers, all that good stuff. But that's why you're having this victory, is because you moved. You relocated. Yeah. Wow. Money coming in, money coming in, money coming in. Yep. And you've been very honest too, like I said, and protective of yourself, protective of what you understood, which is moving in silence type of energy. Even though this is the Queen of Swords, she's got her sword up there ready to combat whatever anybody might say, but she's got her hand out like, okay, give me my money. And you've been very I'm hearing almost charming, but you've been very witty and intelligent about how you do things. Nice. Yeah. This is definitely the end of that cycle. I'm getting the completion again. A lot of new beginnings for you, a lot of change. You really let go of all of that. Even if there were people that, let's say, for instance, like you had a grandparent or something like that who passed away, you're actually acknowledging as well, maybe even like, okay, well, when my grandparents were alive, even though they seemed to be there for me, they didn't, they didn't consult me or communicate to me about this either. And so being able to let go of that too, wow, is what really has sealed in their judgment. Wow. I'm hearing these people are in for a rude awakening. It's not something, that they were expecting. Yeah. They feel like you're so unbothered because of the money, but that's literally the energy and attitude that they have. You're unbothered because you worked. You wouldn't have even probably gotten to this point of understanding, knowing, accepting, that all of this was done wrong to you for the benefit of money, that they were, chasing after, so to speak. But it's the fact that you didn't, that you didn't let money rule you, that you were just focused on, I'm hearing entrepreneur, that you could create it and obtain it on your own. Make them feel like they got enraged by that. They felt like, oh, well, if they could do it on their own, then they don't need this either. 31:31 on the clock. Maybe they even did some humiliation rituals to try to get you attracted to people who were also masked and also a part of whatever the scapegoating plan was. But what I'm hearing is like you continue to go on. You continue to be business oriented, grounded, generous, and practical, despite whatever demonic influences they tried to send into your life. Yeah, that's a part of you in being in that protective energy, focused, yes, on the Ace of Pentacles, right? Because that's what this person is holding here. Focused, but protective and conservative and patient and tentative. Look, right, matching right up there with this Queen of Pentacles. I'm getting a very heavy energy about you being just, where if the money wasn't available, you focused on your health, of mind, of body, and, like I say, when someone works with me, we talk about money in the aspect of what are your finances now? And then we also look at, okay, what do your future finances need to be? And it's not just some throw a number out of a hat energy. It's all the things that you would like to do on a daily basis. Figure out what the cost of having that in your life every single day would be so that you have somewhere for your trajectory to be set. Wow. Yeah. You're going to be really celebrating and happy in this marriage. You and your person are going to be really happy, like, to come home to one another because you both feel very much like you belong there, like belong with each other. Like coming home is what keeps you grounded and your person grounded. Your marriage is what keeps you business oriented and focused. So some of you, the business part of your life may be being there for your spouse, vice versa. Or it could be a combination of two, that you guys both support each other and your desired, professional aspects or aspirations. And because you're very practical, it's like you don't go overboard when it comes to celebrating and doing things and having fun. Maybe that's why to other people on the outside, it always looked like you had it all, but it was because you were very practical. I don't know. It's like for me, I was telling someone the other day that I noticed that a lot of people got jealous and manipulative and started to really show their ugly colors when I took my children to Disney World. But they hadn't seen all the work in the background, how hard it was to work, the bottom of the barrel contracts and actually make enough to go on this trip. They didn't see that I was constantly going to the website to plan this trip because I even searched out which way of planning the trip would be most cost effective, when when I got, it was wild too, because when I went to the resort that we went to for the vacation, the way I got it was because I was taking my children back and forth to visit their fathers, right? And I would stay in a hotel, so I wasn't driving too much in one day. And when you utilize a hotel and you utilize the same brand, they often give you discounts. And so I was getting points, which I could trade in for more hotel night stays. And then all of a sudden, they call from their telemarketing section and they'll say, hey, we want to offer you 7 nights at such and such resort, any one of our resorts, like they usually are in the biggest places like San Francisco, New York, and Florida kind of thing, or Las Vegas. And, it's $250 and you have up to a year to use it. And so, of course, I was like, okay, well, $250 now, it's going to save me a ton later. Yeah, you have to go sit and look at that timeshare thing. But it's like an hour, or 2 out of the time is nothing compared to the value that I was getting in that moment. So I did it. And even though I didn't know that I was going to be able to use this, that resort for that trip, I just felt like it was a smart move. And so I took it. And then later on down the line, it just culminated into me being able to take this trip where the hotel stay wasn't, as expensive. But people tend to look at things and go like, oh, somebody watching your money, counting up what you're spending, not knowing, how frugal you may have been. When we got to the resort, I went to the grocery store. That was one of the first things we did. We went to the grocery store and got things so they could have snacks and yada, yada, yada. And then we planned out, like I put in the plan of like when you go to Disney World, you can set up your trip and everything on the site that I use, and you can include certain meals. So I bought certain meals, certain events, that, fast pass for the rides, like it's all included so that I could watch and know what I was spending. But that, again, when people are very practical is what I'm hearing to other people, they don't see all of the work that went into it, right? They didn't see me doing something ahead of time just because it sounded like a great value and then utilizing that. Because essentially all I did was I took that 7 days and I was set up to go to the timeshare like super early in the morning, like within the first day of us getting there. Or second day of us getting there or whatever, or like towards the end of our trip. I don't remember which one it was really, because I just coordinated it correctly. And then I made sure that like there was a shuttle that could take us to where we needed to go, like to get to all the amusement parks in Florida, because we went to Disney World. And then all I did was add like 2 days on the stay, because I always feel like you lose 2 days. The day you get there and then the day you're leaving, those are 2 lost days. So I wanted to make sure that we had a full week. So we were there for like 9 days. But other people don't see that. Other people don't see that practicality. Other people just see that you're spending money that they don't have, or that you're spending money that they wish they had spent. And it's like, well, you could ask me, and trust me, I researched this trip so much, but it wasn't until it was like a year before I even knew that I would have the opportunity to take my children on this trip. I had already bought that timeshare just thinking that, oh, this is a good deal. 7 days for $250 doesn't sound like a stupid move to me. And all I got to do is sit for an hour with Miss America or whoever, the former Miss Universe or something. But I guess these people were just really heartbroken that like you didn't include them. That's what I'm seeing here. And this may have been a parental figure that never took you on a vacation. Never once. They went on vacation, to Mazatlan and wherever else, Las Vegas and yada, 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 but probably never took you, right? Your family members, cousins might have got together and had, yachts set up to down in Florida to go do this and go do that. They was probably constantly taking trips and posting, but never once invited you, always doing stuff without you. But then they get mad when you're doing things with yourself. That's wild. These people have got a lot of trauma, and they are really grieving you in this depressed time of their lives, is what I'm understanding. Because they didn't get it. It's like, they didn't get it. They won't either, I don't think. Yeah, they didn't get it. They didn't get like why they felt like you abandoned them. That like they feel like they're a disappointment to you. And that you finding your path means that all of their attempts have failed and will. Look, all the cups are behind this person. By the way, this person, look, bye, Felicia, as my daughter would say. And this emotional turmoil, whatever this emotional turmoil that they're experiencing, some of these people are really spilling out. Some people are blaming other people. And then somebody is looking shocked, like, oh my gosh, I didn't know that's what we were really doing. Someone's trying to mask themselves here still. Someone's just angry and sad. This is what they wanted. Even though they may regret it, but I don't feel like they're in regret. They're in regret that it didn't work out. You know, they're only remorseful because it didn't work out. They're not remorseful because, you know, if they were remorseful because of how they were treating you, if they actually had some type of heart or feelings towards what you endured or were enduring, then they wouldn't have done it. When I see other people hurting from my direct, you know, that's why I changed as a mom. You know, I don't raise my voice. I'm not yelling. And if I do, it's a rare occasion. Like, I'm not blowing up on my children. I understand, you know, that. My boys even sometimes go, you should give Sydney a butt whooping, my daughter, because they feel like, you know, I don't, you know, do that. And it's because I changed. I'm no longer dysregulated. I don't have those same, you know, trauma bonds happening, you know, in my life where it caused me to, you know, feel like I gotta, you know, yell at my kids because they're not listening. No, you just have to give them the correct things, you know. Like I'm noticing with my daughter, I'll tell her, you know, go turn off the light or go get your shoes on. And she'll go, do I have to? So I'm making sure to communicate effectively too, where it's like I'm not giving her the choice, because when you do that with children, it makes them feel like they have a choice. Like, are you going to get your shoes on? If they say no, you gave them the question of, are they? You know? So it's just that small, you know, and it's the same with these people. Like they had the choice. They had the choice to invite you. They had the choice to include you. They had the choice to not, you know, try to manipulate you, try to steer your path. They had the choice to not, you know, trauma bond with you. They had the choice to not create trauma in your life and so on and so forth. But that's not the choice that they made. And I'm not saying that people don't change, but for these people, they're not changing because they see what they were doing hurt you. They're changing because they can no longer do it. You see what I'm saying? There's a difference there. Yeah. Wow. They wanted you to try to be in this juggling energy, whereas your ships would never come in. You know, they didn't really see you as this practical person that you were. They felt like maybe you were flaunting things. What is this? They felt like you should have, like I said earlier, they felt like you should have been given to them. These are people who never once gave to you in that way, right? Yeah. They felt like you should be given to them. 42 on the clock. But now what I understand is that what's making this even more heartbreaking for them is because now they know, like, okay, so let's say if Disney World was the thing that really chapped their hide and made them go harder and made them double down, you know, just using that for an example. If Disney World trip, you know, that you saved up, that you worked the bottom of the barrel contracts to, you know, you scrutinized the trip to, you know, to no end, and you made really smart choices with how you planned it. They're looking at this like, well, damn it. If that's what this person was doing all this time, they know that what you're about to receive with this romantic proposal, that this person is going to give their whole heart to you because you deserve it, and you are giving your whole heart to them too. It says chivalrous, romantic proposal, follow your heart, sensitive. Yeah, you both are sensitive enough to understand each other's needs and like give in the appropriate ways is what I'm seeing here. Being generous with each other. And I'm hearing charity as in like respecting and fulfilling the needs that another person has in a relationship, you know, being respectful of, you know, when they need space, you know, not saying, oh, I need you here tomorrow to do this. If that's really a need, then yes, the person will give into there. But you're saying, oh, okay, well, I understand, you know, you might have other things going on, but if you could get over here on Tuesday or Wednesday, that would be great. You know, it's almost like there's this whole community that works with you like that. I didn't realize that until just now. There's a whole community that's giving to you. I was just speaking with someone the other day about how they say it takes a village. And a long time ago, I went to my grandmother. I said, what happened to the village? What happened? What happened? And she said that it was because a long time ago, when someone would say, okay, let's get together and have a barbecue at the beach, that One person would say they're going to bring all the side dishes. Another person said they would bring all the beverages. Another person said they would put all the meat on the grill. Another person said that they would bring, toys and games and stuff for the kids. If there were, parties or, school dances and stuff like that. The mother who was a, dressmaker would make all the girls' dresses. The mother who knew how to do hair or did hair, they would do all the kids' hair. It was a community. That's what you're establishing. There's a different community. And a lot of the individuals in your community also have this very assertive, direct action attitude, and they're impatient about the things that they are being heroic in. And I'm not saying impatient as in like making a hasty decision. I'm saying impatient and they're not going to sit around and wait. They're going to, call you higher and you're going to call them higher is what I'm getting. It's like, oh, no need to wait and sit on our hands, I'm getting that, like, that's why everybody automatically takes the initiative. Oh, I can make dresses for the girls. Oh, we own the shoe store, so they can come by and pick out a pair, that kind of thing. Very balanced. It's a very balanced working together, giving to one another in this community. This is beautiful. It's beautiful to see someone be able to remain out of the grip of a parental figure who has no good intent for their child, who just wants to it takes a lot to end those cycles too, have those new beginnings, to continue to change and to continue to let go, but it's a powerful thing when you actually do it. Anything else that we need out of this deck? What is this here? Ooh-wee. Yeah. Among these dogs, it is something about a humiliation ritual that where either if you were married or involved with someone or had a long-term relationship with someone, whoever this was, one of the energies as well that was involved in this was definitely someone that you were in a relationship with. Because I'm seeing this as both a masculine and feminine energy. They were a tyrant. They were rigid. They were cold. They were very immature as well. Those are the dogs. Because it was plural there. Yeah, those may be the ones who are having the most nightmares. It's like a living nightmare because it says insomnia, which means the person is not sleeping. So it's a living nightmare for this person, seeing how much they have to go through because they know what they put you through. Wow, this is incredible. Yeah, they really are seeing like that they have to let go. Look, it's almost like you're holding their skull, You put them in that fire that's in that other hand and you're holding their skull to show everybody, like, look, I've got control of their mind now. They're the ones worried, sick, anxious, And it's not that you even want the control. It's just that's kind of what happens, though. If somebody's constantly putting their head and their nose in your business, it becomes yours because they keep putting themselves, trying to interject themselves in your life. So I'm just giving very much an energy of like, people are seeing that you have control over them. Like this is giving the energy of like living rent free in someone's head. But really this person, you're holding their skull. It's beyond the living rent free in someone's head. You've already ended that. You don't care to be a part of this person's thoughts, but they wanted to continue to persist, to think about you, to pursue you, to, manipulate you and do spell work on you because it's definitely out here. To try to trick you, put you in illusion, keep you out of touch, keep you away from your true talent, which may just even be to love someone. That may be your greatest, gift that you have. They never saw that coming. They never saw that coming with this metamorphosis that you had. They never saw you letting go of your hangups, making an example out of them is what I just heard. Yeah. Wow. Ooh-wee. They felt like they had put the path out so correctly. What I'm seeing here is someone thought that they had, look, I'm seeing this as the path. They thought that they had put everything out. And it's giving that part of the labyrinth where the girl she's walking through this maze trying to get to the castle and she's marking the spots to know which direction she turned and came from. But then they were turning those stones or flipping them over where there wouldn't be even a mark. So that's why this person is so very confused right now, is because they can't find their way back to themselves. They gave their power over to you by doing this. Did they not know that? They couldn't have been that stupid. They couldn't have been that stupid. They didn't realize that by constantly sending you their energy and sending you all of this stuff, that they were giving you their power. Oh my gosh, these people are dumb. Where your attention goes, your energy flows. They kept putting their attention on you. You took their energy. That's why they're drained. That's why you hold their skull in the palm of your hand. Look at this. I'm talking about this over here. It's like this person saw you seated and kept coming towards you. And as a result, they gave you their head. Because they kept keeping their mind stayed on you instead of Jesus or something like that. Wow, look at this. Look at this. Ace of Cups. And you would just take it out and put it back to be. See, what I'm getting here is you took that negative energy. Okay. Because this is the Ace of Cups. You took whatever negative energy, whatever fake love, whatever projection, whatever they were doing, whatever it was. You took it while grounding yourself and you poured it into a vessel that was bigger than this. I remember I talked the other day about someone turning water into wine and the process of turning that back into water. Well, you just have to constantly flow into that cup the pure water until it removes all of the wine out of the cup. And so you found a quicker way to do it, is what I'm understanding. You found a quicker, smarter way to do it, to transmute that. Wow. It's like you took all their negative energy and poured it out in here. I mean, I can't even really put it into words much greater than that. I really can't. Yeah. That's what you did to moderate yourself. That's what you did to keep yourself calm, to keep yourself in this very balanced, temperance energy. You know, you decided to walk your own path, to leave whatever this is behind you, whoever that is, whether it be people, places, and thing. And along the way, you were met with all these little gifts. It's like where these people were setting up traps, you kept receiving gifts in place of them. Where they were setting up traps for you, you were receiving gifts. Wow. Talk about resilient. That came out here. Oh no, exceptional. Maybe that's the song you should listen to too. Exceptional by Babyface. Exceptional. Exceptional through that 10 of Wands. Yes, you were. Yes, you were. Yeah, there's a lot of celebration of that too. Because these people are sitting in, like I said, somebody probably got put in contempt in court somewhere. And you just took your little seat and went on about your business. You know, with all of this confidence and with all of this celebration in your heart, you know, from being free from them, you know, and all the hassles that they bring. Look, this them feeding the monkeys, but ignoring the owls that were right up there on their backs, you know. They didn't, and whatever they were doing in these courts, it's whoever that official is right there, do not seem pleased. They look at him like, what you even raising your hand for? Like, we've heard enough from you. Maybe that's something somebody got told in court. We've heard enough from you. Wow. We've heard enough from you. What is this Knight of Pentacles? Yeah. I'm hearing salt of the earth. I'm getting that from all of that sprinkle that this person is putting down. It's like what you sat in solitude to think about is now the salt of the earth. Like maybe that's even how you became the salt of the earth energy. Interesting. Yeah. While they were trying to, you know, set up all these mismatches, you know, to keep you at the Two of Swords, you allowed yourself to be split in half, is what I'm understanding. You allowed yourself to see both sides of you, to see the good side and the bad, and then you took a Buddhist energy towards it and said, there's no good and there's bad or bad. There is what is. You know, is this appropriate? Is it necessary? Is it helpful? You know, all these different things, you know, and you determine where you wanted to strike at. Talk about it. Talk about a new type of Two of Swords, man. That may be the thing that's catching them up the most, is because it's already been seen, like how you handled these things. When people wanted you to be at odds with who you were, they wanted you to split yourself in half and be at odds with who you were, but you just sat there in this Empress energy with this wisdom. A lot of owl energy coming out. All right, I'm gonna wrap this up. This has been very beautiful, though. It's been very beautiful. Beautiful. Yeah, this Page of Pentacles is coming out again. Maybe you're very much in the Nine of Pentacles. And you're bringing yourself right into that 10, and they see that. That's what's happened. Yeah, that stability, because that 4-1, the stability of this, harmony of home, marriage, your creative endeavors, like nothing is unstable for you. Whereas it's like, well, maybe I'll be able to do this, maybe I'll be able to do that. There's no maybes in your mind anymore. King of Wands, look at that. Look at that motion. Wow. Wow, you are really doing it, collective. You are very much so career focused, mature, and passionate. That's what's got you in this really celebratory energy. Like, you are very grounded in this stability. You are very grounded. Like I said, it's not up in the air like, will I be, will I? You know it's yours. Come on, collective. You know that this is yours. It's so undeniable, it's not even funny. Wow. Wow. Look at that. Yep, they've been held back from this. Wow. What I'm hearing here is too, like, I mean, I don't know if they were promising people money, but it's like they were promising, it's giving the energy of they were probably promising people with money, and these were all fake coins here. This was all fake. It was an illusion. They never had it. They had people believing that they were sitting on these bags of wealth, but it was never, again, like that video I put up, it says it was never meant to be in anyone else's hands. That's why they had such a struggle getting it. It's feeling like a Ponzi scheme. Like these people felt like they were in a Ponzi scheme because maybe they gave their own money and, were promised something that someone said they were sitting on, but in reality, it just turned out to be a lot of fake coins because I'm getting these are like tarnished, the color of them. And this person does not look happy. And I'm getting because they don't have any money. They don't have access to it. There's been a storm that came in maybe 2 storms that came in. But once you have the idea and the knowledge of certain things, that's what stopped them. That's why they're in this 4 of Cups. Because they know that you wouldn't give them anything. Oh, okay, that's what it is. You're not going to give them anything. So you're also this person sitting on top of this. And you're so skeptical and apathetic towards them. Like, you don't care whether you don't care. You don't care anything about anything having to do with them. If they were wondering about anything, you don't care anything about anything having to do with them. That's incredible. Because you saw them back here in this part, when the part where you had to defend yourself, where you had to find the reason, for their deception, for their betrayals, when you had to go on your own and acknowledge their hidden dishonor and yada, yada, yada. I want to be clear. It's like they wore a mask. They took it off to kind of drink from this well or this water or this source or whatever. And in the process of them doing that, you stood in your strength and you watched them and saw their reflection of who they really were. But they were so busy drinking into this that they didn't see you. And everybody else saw it. That's what everybody else is seeing, like that they were dipping into things that didn't belong to them. What is this? Oh yeah, that's been communicated. Wow. That's been communicated to them. It's been communicated, like who they worked with, like it's been seen. People went far back. Whoa, okay. Somebody's digging in the crate. Somebody went really far back to see how far this was going on. And like I said, it's been since you were a child and you're no longer a child anymore. So they see that this person was handing you out a bunch of heartache and betrayal. And again, this is giving that doctor's energy. This parent used you, in many different ways. Maybe even had some doctors write false reports, prescribing meds that were never given to you. But they didn't see you coming. They didn't see you coming in this instance either. Like, they were just so busy being the rotten people that they are. That's why you holding back from them, as you should. Wow. This is incredible. Like, I cannot even believe. Incredulous. Actually, it's like, it's unbelievable. Like I said, but that's because I have children. That's because I know people. You know what I mean? I've actually been paying attention to what's happening in the world. That I would never thwart myself by going after someone so severely, so, mischievously. I would never thwart my own desires. Ooh, wow. So, someone seeing all of this truth, someone speaking up about this truth too. Someone is very, very much so serious about making sure they remain in control of these individuals. And they're being very smart about how they do it. And this really has other people's minds messed up. This is giving that energy of like, whomever this connected partner is with you or to you, it's very much giving that, like, they see you holding those people's skulls in your hand, right? And they're comfortable in that. That's exactly where they wanted you to be, because they want to be your counterpart, is what I'm understanding. So this is the Knight of Wands, huh? Yeah, this person is in motion. This person is really energetically, they just feel a lot of passion for you, a lot of desire, a lot of devotion, to create and, continue on this adventure. Wow. So everything that this person sees as the truth in you has given them this, like this, I don't know, this is a part of this person's inner child has really just come to life. That is literally some type of, I don't know if this is also another earth angel coming in, because I'm seeing this wing here, who maybe individuals had illusioned this person to think that they were a snake. But this person broke out of that illusion as well. And sometimes that's what narcissists do. Narcissists will have you believing that you're just as bad as them or worse, or, whatever it is, when the whole time you knew better. And it feels like this person did too. And that's why you guys are connected. All right, soulmates is on the bottom of this one, but let's pull these out and get a few more, and then I'm going to end this one here. Wow. This is like really treacherous. Look, butterfly. New relationship evolving to the next phase. Healing the inner child and growth. Like I said, the soulmate in you. Like I said. I don't even have to I'm going to just let the cards fly out. I'm going to just say what. Look. Yep. It's because you took that time. You used self-indulgence in the right way. You focused on yourself, your self-work. You took time to heal. You did your shadow work, and you really appreciate who you've become. And that's why you deserve someone who feels the same about themselves, has done the same thing for themselves. That's the only way that could match up. Yeah. This energy of this person thinking that they were some type of snake was a part of their evolvement into this to understand that they were an earth angel. Wow. This was coming from a snake energy themselves that was competitive, some type of enemy who was clever, malicious, looking over their shoulder, the other woman. That person came out in the readings recently too. Yep. What I'm getting, you two have been very patient with one another in this soul connection. You knew that it needed time, it would take time, that in time, these cycles into time to heal would progress into this soul connection, this partnership, this agreement, this soul contract. You guys remain steadfast into that too. That devotion is really huge. And they're devoted to making sure that you meet them, that you guys get together, that you're, a lot of it stemmed from just you being open to the fact of getting back out there and them seeing that as well. But they've been planning. Oh, look, they've been planning to make sure that they could do this on time. I'm going to make it work, is what this person said. They're very interested in like talking to you more about things, calling, texting, emailing you. Wow. I feel like they wonder if you wait for their communications, if you wait for, like, is my person thinking about me? They haven't texted me today, or they haven't reached out, they didn't DM me, whatever. And I get it's because you both are still in your, self-indulgence. You are capable of not, speaking with one another when it calls for you to be busy on your own things. So if there's any type of like confusion, you guys mirror each other. If you are busy, they are busy too. It's not a distant because, I'm trying to, play hard, or it's not I'm distant because I'm trying to play hard to get. It's like, hey, no, we're mirroring each other. I feel like both of you introspectively know that. Yeah. You guys are mirroring each other very much so in this relationship evolving into the next phase, healing that inner child with each other. Because again, a part of the inner child that gets healed in the relationship, which is why the relationships are important for full healing, is so that you can experience the love that you didn't get otherwise. You know, nothing's going to compare. Just like they say, like when you have a child, it's a relationship that you know, that you've never experienced before. And when you have a grandchild, it's, you know, even more of that love, but different. And that's why this love has to exist for you. Because you can have all those other ones, but you deserve every single one of those in the correct way from people who are genuine. Yeah, I'm understanding this is what you either found out on your first date or you found out on your date, you know, or going to find out, you know, in these conversations that you're having now. Okay. Once this person starts, you and this person start talking. Yeah. Yeah. It's something a lot to do about this talking. Maybe they're concerned with talking too much about past relationships and heartbreak and like ever all the trauma that you guys had to get over. But I don't feel like that's something that you guys will even, I'm feeling that there will be so much energy and excitement around getting to know each other more once you've, you know, started to connect and determine like, okay, that it's just going to be simply a love call. Like when you guys talk, it's not going to be a bunch of minutia. Like, you know, if there is, it's very brief. You know, it may be just something like, you know, I've been through a lot, you know, I love really hard, you know, I made mistakes before, you know, I've worked on myself. It's going to be that basic in general, if it's even needed. Because I'm hearing two peas in the pod. It's going to be like you guys have already been talking. If that's the energy that you and your person are in now, it's like, that's how you should continue. Oh, that was the download I got the other day. Just let it flow. Just be yourself. You know, because it's like the missing piece of the puzzle. Have you ever put a whole puzzle together and there's one piece missing? I have, because my son will come and take one just to, to be funny. But it's like having a whole puzzle put together and there's one little piece missing. When that piece comes in, they don't question like, where has this piece been? And da-da-da-da. You're just happy to see it all come together. That's going to be the energy. It's like it because it fits there, because it was made for that. That's what you guys are going to realize. You're going to be so inundated with curiosities about one another, and like, I don't know, I just feel a very heavy romantic energy, a very, very romantic energy. Yeah, it won't feel like, you know, addiction. It won't feel like toxicity. It won't feel like, you know, you won't get nervous and have these instances where you're concerned about heartbreak in this. It's coming from a mutual respect is what I'm understanding. Yeah. Yeah. It's because you guys have ascended, you know, from having to be in this energy of healing your heart. You've ascended from that space of, you know, heartbreak, toxic relationships and addictions and things like that. You guys have ascended and transcended beyond that. You've learned from that. You've expanded from that. And this is a new phase that's preparing you for this union. This is really beautiful. Anything else here, please? Okay. Ah. Yeah. And it definitely did take time to break those addictions, you know. It took time for those cycles and for that healing, for it to get to the point of progress, you know. And you did have to restrain yourselves from one another to not become addicted. But in that process, you learned that, hey, this is an addiction. This isn't the reason that this person is welcoming me and that I'm welcoming them is because it's, look, a heart with a key. It's not because, you know, I'm obsessed or, you know, I don't know. It's giving more of like, I'm devoted to what I deserve. And what I deserve is the right person. Welcoming love, meeting the one, opening your heart, getting together. Perfect. I didn't say it. The card said it. Nobody's perfect, but you're perfect for me. And that is true. I cannot say that it isn't. That is very much so true. Nobody's perfect, but there can be someone that matches up with you so well that it feels perfect, you know, because there were so many imperfect people that existed. So when someone comes along that's able to have a healthy relationship, yeah, What I'm getting is like you guys don't even like going, like there's definitely no going to sleep angry here in this energy, but it's like it's definitely like last person on my mind when I go to sleep, first person on my mind when I wake up, you know, definitely getting a good night kiss, if not some other stuff when you go to bed at night. This is so sweet. Yeah. Define. Here we go again. Divine feminine is almost always up for a little taste or a little swallow. Oh, there was a heavy 69 energy too out yesterday. And I was like, yo, what? You guys are going to have all kinds of code words and stuff like that for things that you want from one another. I'm getting like, instead of 69, it's going to be like 10-10. Wow. It's because you guys share the same fantasies of one another. It has a lot to do with all the tantric things that you guys have explored prior to. But yeah, you guys have a lot of fantasies about each other that you want to do. It's like, okay, so I don't know. It's kind of like it doesn't even have to be said. You guys have shared these fantasies. So getting into the right space, like let's say if the space was the kitchen, getting into the kitchen, getting it in the kitchen isn't a hard task because you guys have both already shared these similar fantasies of having each other in these different ways, whether it be in the shower, on the counter, I keep seeing a vision of two people and there's like this big, huge, fridge, those big ones where it's just huge that I could cover two people in the kitchen. So I'm getting an energy of like you guys are in the kitchen and the door is open to the refrigerator and it just masks anybody being able to see you. Anyway, the intimacy outside the bedroom makes the bedroom chemistry more mind-blowing. So there's a lot of understanding that you guys like being intellectuals with one another. Your minds turn each other on. You guys are both very much sapiosexuals. Woo! She enjoys you penetrating her soft grip to the extreme. So divine masculine feels like your grip is like the softest grip that he's ever felt. And she really enjoys divine feminine. Divine feminine really enjoys you being inside of her, is what I'm understanding. It says you two reinvented keeping the spice in marriage. Wow. You guys reinvented that. I'm hearing it's because of that tantric and just your level of ability to be sapiosexual with one another. It's almost like if someone else came to you and told you something that was really intellectual and intellectually stimulating and things like that, you would go back and share it with one another. You don't see the other person that shared this information with you other than a source, which is exactly what they're supposed to be because you have a connection, you have a union. So it's not like someone else is going to spark your person's intellectual side, no. If it does get sparked, it's going to be sparked to go to you with this information because that feeds your sexual chemistry with each other. Perfect pair. I already said that. It's like oil and vinegar, peanut butter and jelly, wine and cheese. I hear the mad masculine energy, whoever the King of Swords energy is in this, feels that way very much. You are their peanut butter to their jelly. This is so cute. Wine to my cheese. Oh gosh. I'm not saying that salami to my olive. Oh my gosh. This person is very well endowed. And because you've been abstinent, it's going to feel brand new. It's going to feel brand new to both of you because it is, right? But it's going to always be like that too, is what I'm understanding. It's like it's not going to be, it's like you get them hard and they get you wet. It's just inevitable. There's not going to be any issues in that area. I heard never was. You two are connected in so many ways, always being an excellent representation of each other. Yeah, that came out too the other day. that you guys, it's coming with this mirroring one another. Like, you represent each other very well. You feel proud to have your person go out and, like, on your behalf, like if someone's, was accepting an award, but they had a previous engagement that fell on the same day of them accepting this award, they would feel very confident that you would present yourself just like they would. Like, it's not missing a beat. So it's like people felt as though you were there, and because your person showed up in your absence. There's no, it's almost like two people who in previous life were twins, brother and sister, if you will, boy and boy, I don't know, it just, you guys were twins. You have that connection. I'm also getting, like, in, was it Plato's Symposium, where supposedly we were one being. It's giving that energy, and I don't know where that deck is right now, because I would pull it out and use it just to get a little bit more insight, but it's giving that energy. It's like you are this person's other half, for sure, for sure. Your single and married friends will greatly benefit from the friendships that you all enjoy too. That's another thing that keeps the spice alive too. What I'm understanding, these other individuals that you guys will be spending your, date nights with, your vacationing with them and things like that, play dates and stuff like that. It's like all the things actually benefit all of the parties involved. The children as well. You may learn parenting tips. You may give parenting tips. You may, learn new ways to please your spouse. Like, oh, bro, I never thought about that one. I didn't know about the fruit roll-up trick. Whatever it is. Oh, goodness. Okay, let me get out of this reading. I hope that this has been helpful and insightful in some way, shape, or form. And I also want to add that I love that how at the end of every reading, pretty much, is coming out, just diving into this. Because, again, the past is the past. It's being revealed so that these other people know that they're caught, is what I'm understanding. And that you and your person don't have to have all these tough conversations about things that you have no desire to relive, whether it be verbally, emotionally, mentally, in a dream state, none of that. And you won't be repeating it next lifetime. So there's that part. Hey, no, see you next lifetime, not no in my dreams, not no, next month, next season, none of that. That's why this union comes out so heavy towards the end. I'm just saying, because there's nothing that can stop it. All right, I hope that this has been helpful and insightful in some way, shape, or form, and I will catch you on the next one. Later.